Hello. In this math video, I will do an ACT math algebra video regarding solving equation. Okay. So yes, ACT math algebra is solving equations. So after this lesson, you will be able to isolate a variable. Okay. So let's start with question one. So question one says, what is the value of x that satisfies the equation 15 parentheses x plus 9 equals to negative 21? I mean, sure, you could test each one to figure out which makes the statement true, or you could just start solving for x. That's what I'm going to do. So I know it's very tempting to FOIL out the 15, right? It's very tempting. And yeah, you can do that. That's perfectly fine. But I know we have a time limit, so I'm going to try to do is the most efficient way. So what I would do first in the most efficient way is get rid of this 15. Don't FOIL it out, just get rid of it. So the only way to get rid of this, do the opposite. So this is a multiplication because it's squished. So you're going to do the opposite by dividing both sides by 15. Now you have x plus 9 equals to negative 21 over 15. Uh, let's try to reduce this first. Can negative 21 over 15 be reduced by 3? So that would be, let's see, negative 7. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then you have x plus 9. And then solve for x, so you're going to subtract 9 from both sides. And you get negative 7/5 minus 9, or 9 over 1. And if you recall, what do you need to simplify fractions? You need a common denominator. So my common denominator is 5. So you're going to multiply both sides by 5. So 9 times 5 is 45. Negative 7 minus 45 is negative 52 over 5. And I believe that cannot be reduced in any way. So this is your final answer. So the correct answer would be letter A. Okay, let's move on to question two. So question two, if you have 9 parentheses a minus 3 equals 15a, then a equals to what? So in question two, I'm gonna FOIL that out. I know you can get rid of the 9 immediately by dividing both sides by 9, but the reason why I'm not gonna divide both sides by 9 because it doesn't get rid of this a right here. So here, let me write it out. So 9 parentheses a minus 3 equals to 15a, right? So what I will do is FOIL out this 9. So this is not a 9. This is an a, not a 9. So, and this is a 9. So 9 times a is 9a. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27 equals to 15a. And then I'm going to get all the a's on one side, so I'm going to subtract 9a from both sides. So this cancels. So you're left with negative 27 equals to, what's 15a minus 9a? 6a. And then we're going to divide both sides by 6. And you get negative 27 over 6. And I guess you can reduce this by 3. So negative 27 divided by 3 is negative 9 over 2. Now, you don't see our answer because if you look at the choices, they're all mixed. So this is improper, right? This is improper fraction. So let's make it mixed. So you can make this mix if the numerator is bigger than the denominator, which in our case it is. So you put 9 on the top and then 2 on the outside. How many times does 2 go into 9? four times, right? Four times two is eight, and then you have a remainder of one. So it's going to be equal to negative four, and then your remainder is one, and then over two. Letter F. Okay, the question three says, the two solution to absolute value of 7x minus 1 plus 2 equals 4 are equal to which of the following pairs of equation? So they're not asking to solve for x. They want it, it's like before that. They want the two equations before you start solving for x. So we have, let me write it out again. We have the absolute value of 7x minus 1 plus 2 equals to 4. And then what I'm going to do is subtract 2 from both sides. So you get the absolute value of 7x minus 1, and then 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay. Then what you do is, okay, so now you can create two equations. The reason why is because there is nothing near the absolute value, and then this number 2 is positive. So if it was negative, it would be no solution. Okay, so my first equation is basically the one without the absolute value. So it's going to be 7x minus 1 equals to 2. And then my other one is basically this, but you make the 7x negative 1. You basically distribute a negative. So it's going to be parentheses or negative parentheses 7x minus 1 equals to 2. And if you look at the choices, it would be letter B. Okay, let's move on to question 4. Okay, question 4 says, which of the following values of x satisfies the equation? So this time they want you to solve for x. So um, let's see. We have f negative 1, g 1, h 5, j 1 and 5, or k. There is no values for x, which the equation is true. So what I got to do is create two equations. So before that, I got to check if there's anything near the absolute value. There's nothing. Then I got to check if this number is positive. No, it's not. It's not positive. It's negative. So the minute this becomes a negative value, you can automatically say it's no solution. Okay. So if there's nothing near the absolute value, and then this number is negative, it's going to be no solution. Okay. Question 5. If question 5 says if 8 parentheses x minus 2y equals to 16x, then what is x in terms of y? So they basically want you to solve for x. That's it. So we have 8 parentheses x minus 2y equals to 16x. And I want to solve for x. So um, I'm going to get rid of the 8. I'm not going to FOIL it out. I'm just going to get rid of it by dividing both sides by 8. So I get x minus 2y equals to 16x over 8 is 2x. And then we want to solve for x. So let's get, we have 2x's, 1x here and 2x there. So let's get 1x on one side. So I'm going to subtract 1x. So you get negative 2y equals to 2x minus 1x is x. And our answer is, or you could say x equals negative 2y. So that would be letter B. Okay, so that wraps it up for this video. Yeah, some of these videos are kind of short, but when we do an actual practice exam, they'll be longer. Okay, I'm going to stop here.